Bullying in the Digital Age, a critical review and meta-analysis of cyberbullying research among youth. So, a lot of interesting information here that I want to point out. The general aggression model is proposed as a useful theoretical framework from which to understand this phenomena of cyberbullying. And they're going to be talking about cyberbullying, cyber victimization. If you read this article, they're going to be using some different acronyms for this. CB, I believe, is cyberbullying. CV is cyber victimization. TB is traditional bullying. And they're going to be looking at the comparison between those two things. A mixed effects meta-analysis results indicate that among the strongest associations with cyberbullying perpetration, sorry, the dog was barking and distracted me, were normative beliefs about aggression and moral disengagement. And the strongest associations with cyberbullying victimization were stress and suicidal ideation. So if you are a cyber bully, you're probably going to be associated with moral disengagement and aggression versus cyberbullying victimization, which if you're a victim, then you're going to be more associated with stress and suicidal ideation. They wanted to stress that the limits of this meta-analysis include issues dealing with causality or directionality of these associations, as well as the generalizability of those meta-analytic estimates that are based on smaller sets of studies. So they identified numerous correlates with cyberbullying, including 10 beliefs about aggression and risky behavior. Let me see if I can rotate this. Yes, I can. So you can see this a little bit better while I'm talking. Here's one of the tables: cyberbullying prevalence estimates and characteristics of existing studies. So there's that. Experiencing cyber victimization strongly positively related to being a perpetrator of cyberbullying. Isn't that interesting? So if you have a person who has been a victim of cyberbullying, they probably are a perpetrator, or they will be. Strongly related. Yeah, they did say that. I'm not misspeaking. Moderately sized relationships were uncovered as predictors of engagement, including cyberbullying. Normative beliefs about aggression, so thinking that it is a good thing to be aggressive. And moral disengagement, which is like not engaging with morality, not engaging with what's good and what's bad, trying to not have some kind of a moral compass. In terms of outcomes, being a perpetrator of cyberbullying was nearly moderately associated with drug and alcohol use. Smaller relationships were found for anxiety, depression, low life satisfaction, academic achievement, higher levels of loneliness, but each of these relationships was small in magnitude. Cyberbullying is highly related to both traditional bullying and cyber victimization, including that individuals who cyberbully tend to bully others in face-to-face settings and be victims of cyberbullying as well. And I'm curious about the definitions of cyberbullying because there's a lot of banter that happens when it comes to online video games that at face value you might consider bullying, but from another perspective you might consider it ribbing between friends, depending on how well the people involved know each other. It's difficult, right? On the other hand, is it necessarily a good thing that we do have this banter of ribbing that is derogatory in nature? I'm not so sure that that's the case, and perhaps it would be morally advantageous for us to try to minimize that or eliminate it. So, to go further, talking about cyberbullying and victimization, we had this article here from, this is a little bit of fun for me, I guess, because I'm a big fan of DC Comics, if you haven't noticed by my shirts. Zachary Levi exposed the dark side of the DC fandom, a culture of toxicity and cyberbullying. So he highlighted the venom, toxicity, and bullying present in online spaces where fans gather. He empathized with the aggressors, suggesting that they might feel powerless and find satisfaction in tearing down people. And that makes sense, doesn't it? It does seem to logically follow from that. And in this article, they also talk about some of the bullying that other directors, actors, people of the DC world have experienced because of decisions of a creative nature when it comes to these shows, because the fans can be quite rabid sometimes. They want what they want, and if things aren't exactly that way, they can get pretty testy, so to speak. And that's unfortunate. Obviously, people need to have the latitude to make creative decisions without being harassed or threatened in any kind of way. It's not that big of a deal, is it, that the movie has been changed? Or these are not criminal acts. These are not things that are morally, how do you say? These things are not morally charged. It's just for fun. There's no reason to get so up and angry about these kind of things. You need to calm down if you are somebody getting online, going on Facebook, who is talking all kinds of shit about people just because you don't like the decisions they made. Calm down. And also wanted to touch on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Nope. Well, I should have done this in another section, but I guess I will anyways. No charges for the former Salinas school trustee accused of cyberbullying. So, Catherine Ramirez is a school trustee, and she was harassing and stalking one of the parents. She made Facebook posts about the parent, and that they wanted her to. She resigned from her seat on November 2nd when the investigation began. They said that there wasn't proof beyond a reasonable doubt that it was her on the Facebook posts. So apparently they're going to drop the charges and not charge her with this. But she has resigned, and that is really crazy. And there's a video here, you can watch it yourself if you want, that the school trustee was cyberbullying a parent. So maybe it's not so easy to not cyberbully people. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if I've ever cyberbullied people with just, you know, my online debate argument type stuff. You know, when you get into these discussions online about God, about politics, it's really easy to just get all caught up and say things that are insulting and mean, and you don't know the person on the other side. You don't know what they're going through at the moment. You know, something that you think might be a benign, off-the-cuff remark that is quasi-insulting may be something that pushes them over the edge and causes them to commit suicide or something even more tragic, you know, murders. We have to be empathetic, I think. I think it's very important to try to really just not go to ad hominems and personal insults and attacks when we're arguing with people. And I understand that it can be helpful to make a point to drive an issue home, but we are all in this together, and all we have is each other. It'd be much better if we could lean on each other and feel safe around each other, even when we're wrong. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of arguments against that as well that you can make, because, you know, being wrong, there's a huge spectrum of wrong, and some wrongs are really, really, really wrong. So, yeah, that's going to be the show for today, anyways. And like it if you loved it, share it if you want to spread it, and remember, it's the bridges we build, not the bridges we burn, that give us the edge. Have a great night, guys.